Hofstra.com is proud to welcome graduate student cross-country runner Jordan Freed. Welcome, Jordan.
Thanks for having me.
You have a very interesting story. After 4 years of playing Hofstra lacrosse, you have a year of eligibility left and you jumped over to the men's cross-country team. Tell us how that developed.
It's going great. I mean, I've always been a runner, and you know, when I decided to come back for a 5th year, I knew that I wanted to be a part of another team, and cross country welcomed me in, and it's been great so far.
Now, you were a two-sport athlete at Horace Greeley High School up in Chappaqua, New York. You can be honest now. What was your favorite sport?
To be honest with you, cross country. You know, like I said before, I've always been a runner, and I just feel like, you know, running has always been a big part of my life ever since I was little.
You were a two-time All-League cross-country selection and were named to the All-Westchester County team as a senior. What were your most memorable competitions in high school?
I would say my freshman year, you know, being a freshman and running varsity against, you know, seniors and upperclassmen. And then I would say probably the Westchester County meet. My senior year was a big meet for me because I was able to be all county. And then my sophomore year we made it to the state meet, and that was big because I was still an underclassman, and making it to the state meet was just a great experience for me.
And you had some nice accolades in lacrosse as well as a senior. Tell us about those.
You know, my senior year was probably my best season. I definitely had a little bit of a rough road. I've gone through 3 coaches in high school, but I think playing lacrosse and being a two-sport athlete for me was just a great learning experience coming to Hofstra.
Now, was there any thought of going cross country over lacrosse when you got to Hofstra?
Not really. I was, recruited to play here for lacrosse, and lacrosse welcomed me in, and really, the friendships and are things that the guys that I became close with, I'm gonna speak to, and hopefully go to their weddings, and just the relationships I made have just been amazing.
Now, you have an interesting childhood story. At a very young age, you were stricken with childhood leukemia, and at the time you were in Sloan Kettering Memorial Hospital getting treatment. There was somebody else who was at the hospital getting treatment who you kind of know, although he has passed, fairly well. Tell us a little bit about that.
That really kind of struck my running career, watching the New York City Marathon, the years that I was getting treatment. Really, I remember, saying, even though I was so young, saying to my parents, I eventually want to be a runner and run past Memorial Sloan Kettering, and I made it a goal of mine and to work my butt off and try to eventually run marathons and try to be the best runner I can.
And while you were in the hospital, even though you didn't know it, Fred LeBeau, the founder of the New York City Marathon, a legendary figure in New York running annals, was also getting treatment, unbeknownst obviously to you and your family. But there's a correlation now, almost 20 years later, with you and Fred's team. Tell us about that.
I think that with Fred, with us getting treatment, kind of pretty much at the same time, even though I didn't know him, it just really made me, want to run marathons and, run New York that much more. And it, just gave me the inspiration and the drive that, I've had since I was little.
And you have run 2 New York City marathons and a Philadelphia marathon. Tell us a little bit about your first New York City marathon.
It was just very emotional. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, and running past and seeing my parents and seeing, all the Fred's team, people, cheering for you and everything, and then seeing, another Fred's team cheering section, mile 23 right before you go back into Central Park was just very emotional. It was just a great day, and it was just, filled, just seeing everyone and seeing the cancer patients, on the gate, and it was just very emotional.
And you finished your first, give us the time of your first...
My first was 3:17:50, or 3:17, yep, 3:17 and change.
And you cut that by 4 minutes the next meet.
I did.
That was a lot easier, I assume.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was a lot easier, knowing what to expect, and really knowing the course, and knowing where to take it easy, and knowing where to, accelerate.
Now this year, your assistant coach, Tracy Koch, will be running in her first marathon. What wisdom have you imparted on her?
I just said, since it's her first marathon, just enjoy it, and trust your training, and just enjoy the whole day and the atmosphere.
What's the most important thing about running a marathon?
I think a lot has to do mentally, because you're out there for a while, and mentally and keeping, trusting your training, like I had said, and really knowing your body and knowing where to, how much nutrition, and how much water intake and stuff like that. I really think, I think it's just a big whole package, but I think a lot of it has to do mentally and proper nutrition.
Yeah, and after 4 years of playing on the lacrosse team here at Hofstra, you also had the opportunity to deal with the passing, well, he passed before you got here, but the passing of Nick Collalori and the legacy of Nick Collalori here at Hofstra. And you did have a captain who played with Nick in high school. Tell us a little bit about that relationship.
Again, very emotional. I think, having not the same type of illness, but having cancer, I've always felt closer to Nick, even though I really didn't know him and I didn't play with him. But I just feel overall the connection that, whenever we would go to the Collalori tournament and when we go to Nick's house, eventually when we first went there 2 years ago, I just felt a connection, and seeing the family that was always there in Nick's house getting treated in Philadelphia. I just felt a different kind of connection, having cancer and beating it.
And after 4 years with the lacrosse team, where if anybody who saw you in the lacrosse team, they always saw you on a treadmill or running, you jumped over to the cross-country team. After you graduated with a liberal arts degree, you were pursuing a master's degree in higher education leadership. Were there any trepidations about being a distance runner, going to a more, let's say, call it sedate 5K, 6K, 8K, 10K races? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Oh yeah, I think, and I tell my coach this, all the time, and the guys on the team. I think there is a very big difference, when you're racing and you're running sub 6 minute miles, and you're racing against some of the best runners in the country at these big invitationals. I think there's a very, very big difference from running, a marathon to going to an 8K or even a 10K. I just think that the pace is very different, and I think the intensity is also different, because you're not running a road race, you're running on dirt or a gravel type surface. So I think there's a big difference.
Now you've got four races under your belt. You missed the last one due to illness. How do you assess your progression this year?
I think each race, I've cut my times, 30 to 40 seconds, and like I said, the races are very different. I think it took me, 1 or 2 races to get used to the pace, get used to the different type of running, and I think my progression overall with having 4 races under my belt I think it's been pretty good, and I'm just looking forward to championship season and our CA meet this weekend, and just forward to doing well.
Now, looking into that CAA championship, your first conference cross-country championship, you've been on that course earlier back in September and finished 29th. What did you learn from that meet?
I learned not to go out too fast. I think with that meet, we saw some teams that aren't going to be at the CA meet, and I think we all tried to go out with those guys, and I think we went out a little too fast, and I think especially me, and I think just running our race and trusting our training, like I've said, really will be a factor, and knowing where to kick and where to let the other runners in the race really kind of lead us up, and then having a strong kick at the end.
What are your goals for the rest of the season?
My goals are just to continue to get better, just continue working hard, practice, workouts, and just try to do the best I can with the 3 meets we have left: our CA meet, our regional meet, and then our IC4A meet.
And do you have any marathons in your future?
Of course, always. And I'm trying to, since I'm not able to do New York City this year, I'm going to try to do, I'm not sure yet, but I'd like to do maybe a winter marathon, and then I'm hoping to do Boston in the spring, in April.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Jordan, and good luck at Hunt Valley and the CAAs and the rest of the season, as well as your marathon career.
Thank you very much.